the markets are expecting a rate cut, 2 rate cuts. Where, are they coming? And are they coming with a little bit of wallop, or are there going to be small cuts?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this really depends on what happens at the G20. I think the challenge for Powell at this meeting will effectively be to avoid invalidating what's already been priced into the market. It's really kind of a do no harm meeting and preserving optionality for acting in the face of whatever comes from the G20. I think if there is a restart to trade talks, I think there'll be a tremendous amount of relief in the market, and we'll probably push out rate cuts at least further into 2019. But I also think it's the case that, given the potential for this administration, the U.S. administration, to flip-flop, there's going to be a premium in treasuries, and there's going to be a premium in the front end of the U.S. curve, expecting some kind of rate cuts if something goes wrong. People are willing to pay for that insurance.
Okay, how much are they willing to pay? Are they willing to pay too much for it, or could it be even more?
I mean, I think, look at it this way. There's a lot of debate over, what are the analogs for the current easing cycle, or if we have an easing cycle? Will it be a one and done, or will it be an extended easing cycle? I think there's a reasonably strong argument to make that if they start cutting rates, it will likely be an extended cycle. And that's because it's a very late cycle economy. You don't have a lot of obvious pent-up demand. You have the slowing on the trade side that'll probably be persistent. And probably most importantly, policy isn't that effective at this stage. I mean, you're basically working with asset markets that are already, highly inflated.
Gene Frieda, you nailed it. The policy effectiveness as well. If central bankers know the efficacy of what they're doing has come down to a minimal amount, what's the other institution that's going to help? Who comes to the rescue of Draghi, Powell, and Kuroda?
Yeah, it feels like we're waiting for Godot, and you tell me who
Godot's booked tomorrow. No, Godot's on the show tomorrow. I believe in the 6B slot. But who's
always coming the next day.
Who's going to come to the rescue?
I think we're all waiting to see how fiscal policy comes to the rescue, or if it comes to the rescue. There's obviously a constructive way in which it comes to the rescue, proactively and somewhat preemptively. Or it can come reactively, as has been the case in Japan, where the deficits just get bigger because growth outcomes are weaker. So you may end up in the same place, but with very different growth outcomes. So far, we don't see much evidence, at least in Europe and in most parts of the world, that it's going to be proactive. It's already been early, if anything, in the U.S.